From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Fighting the virus on the front lines. We begin tonight with the focus on a group of young doctors helping save lives here in the Hoosier State. Thanks for joining us here at 11 o'clock. I'm Nicole Griffin. The IU Health doctors are known as the Fellows. WRTV's Nikki Dementri shares the stories of what some call the unsung heroes of the pandemic tonight.
We signed up for this. This is what we love. It didn't necessarily sign up to be in the middle of a pandemic, but it happens, I guess. I don't know.
COVID-19 quickly became Dr. Roberto Suazo's reality back in March.
I was the first fellow to get deployed on the COVID ICU unit.
For him, it's also personal.
I did end up losing my grandfather to COVID back in April, so it hit home from the beginning.
Dr. Suazo was on the COVID front lines as a fellow with IU School of Medicine. First-year fellow Dr. Cynthia Carrasco and third-year fellow Dr. Francesca Duncan are fighting the virus head-on alongside him.
What I never anticipated is that I would be family, doctor, friend, caregiver for one person every day.
The Pulmonary and Critical Care Fellowship is an intense 3-year-long clinical and research-based program. There are less than 24 in the program.
We all had to kind of step up and learn very, very quickly. There were times in which we were kind of responsible in the sense that we had to kind of act as an attending because there were just so many patients that we had to care for.
Essentially, fellows are trained doctors who are looking to become experts in a particular field.
It's been a whole range of emotions, from frustration, of people not believing in it and not knowing kind of what we're dealing with on a daily basis, even to gratitude. I think so many people are kind of working together so well as teams and kind of leaning on each other for support.
These fellows all came to Indy from different backgrounds. Dr. Carrasco is from Mexico. Dr. Suazo was born in Puerto Rico. And Dr. Duncan grew up in Georgia, but they all share a passion in helping others.
What makes me go every day? I think it's exactly that. Just thinking that not is just my job, but it's my privilege. A few people have the chance to help. We're in a position to help.
Inside the walls of the COVID ICU, it's their classmates who turned into their family that gets them through some of the hospital's darkest days.
Everyone is there with the sole goal in mind to help others. We also provide that emotional support for each other.
Within the last few weeks, these fellows can now say they are fully vaccinated against the deadly virus, something they say means an end to the pandemic is near.
At the beginning of the pandemic, the word was like fear. Now we're feeling very, very hopeful.
Nikki Dementri, WRTV.
Nikki, thank you. And the 3 fellows you just heard from are now fully vaccinated against COVID-19, and they are urging fellow Hoosiers to follow suit. We asked them to each share why they are encouraging others to get the vaccine. You can find those videos right now at our website, WRTV.com. And tonight, as thousands of Hoosiers sign up for the COVID-19 vaccine, appointment times are filling up at sites across the state. If you can't find an appointment close to your home, the state health department says keep checking back because more sites and time slots will be added. It is important to know you are not required to get vaccinated in the county you live in. We talked to an Avon woman who tried to register at the one site in Hendricks County, but she was only able to get an appointment for herself and not her husband. Peggy Morgan says she then noticed Eskenazi Hospital here in Marion County had openings and was able to get him in for his vaccine today. Her appointment in Hendricks County was not until February 8th. Morgan shared what life has been like for her during the pandemic and why she wants to get the vaccine.
We used to travel all the time. We've not gone anywhere. We had to cancel. We had a trip to Cancun scheduled, had to cancel it. We were supposed to go to Grand Canyon in December for our 50th anniversary. We had to cancel that. If this is going to work, I want it. And my daughter is a nurse, and she's had both of her shots already. She hasn't grown any horns. She looks just natural, normal, all that. So I thought, I'm getting it. I'm going for this.
Tonight, more than 282,000 Hoosiers have now received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. More than 55,000 are fully vaccinated. Due to the limited availability of the vaccine, Hoosiers are encouraged once they do get an appointment, unless there is an emergency, avoid trying to reschedule or cancel. Among the Hoosiers already vaccinated is 80-year-old Rhonda Pertel. She's a retired nurse and current volunteer at Community Hospital South. Since the pandemic started, Pertel says she never leaves home. Receiving her vaccine brings her relief. She already has plans for when she's able to get out once again.
I thought I would probably wait up to around 2 weeks, so my antibodies are just flowing like crazy, hopefully. And then I'm coming back here. I volunteer here at South. Say I would rather have a few aches and pains if I have any reaction. I'm not going to be intubated. I'm not going to be isolated from everybody in the hospital. And I just feel very secure about the approval, the process. And so I have no concern, no fears about the vaccine itself.
Pertel says she also looks forward to, of course, getting back to spending time with her family, something she has not been able to do very often since the pandemic started. Now to the latest numbers tonight. Another 3,973 Hoosiers have been diagnosed with the coronavirus. The state health department also reported 41 more deaths. The total number now stands at 8,913. Since March, more than 587,000 Hoosiers have tested positive for COVID-19, and more than 6.3 million tests have been administered in Indiana. Yet another grim milestone. More than 2 million are now dead from COVID-19 across the entire globe. That is according to Johns Hopkins University. And now some state officials are slamming the Trump administration for promising more vaccine doses and not delivering. Let's get those details tonight from ABC's Alex Perche.
Hospitals overrun and healthcare workers overwhelmed with no end in sight to this deadly pandemic. Doctors at Northeast Georgia Medical Center say the ICU is at 200% capacity.
We are having to treat patients in the hallways and also in the ambulances.
The U.S. has already reported 3 million new COVID cases since the new year, and more than 100,000 cases logged every day since November 3rd. And the race to vaccinate inching along far slower than anticipated.
I don't want to die of COVID. It's that simple. I don't want to die of COVID.
Multiple states now have more appointments than doses. Some hospitals, like New York's Mount Sinai, canceling reservations as they worry about lack of supply. Grandmother Pat Jones of Texas says it took her 24 hours to book an appointment.
As soon as you try to get into the site to register, it either crashed because of overload or they had used up all the slots.
Now, several governors are accusing the Trump administration of lying that 20 million more doses were about to become available.
This is deception on a national scale. Their empty promises are literally playing with people's lives.
Earlier this week, Health and Human Services Secretary Alex Azar said the federal government was releasing the entire supply to states rather than holding second doses in reserve, but that those second doses had already been shipping out for weeks. Pfizer now saying in a statement, Operation Warp Speed has asked us to start shipping second doses only recently, adding that they're working to ensure Americans receive their first and second doses of the vaccine on time. President-elect Joe Biden says speeding up vaccinations is a top priority when he takes office next week, aiming for 100 million shots in his first 100 days as president by activating FEMA, which will help set up vaccination sites across the country.
And this is a time to set big goals, to pursue them with courage and conviction, because the health of the nation is literally at stake.
Alex Perche, ABC News, New York.
Alex, thank you. If you are one of millions of Americans still waiting on your second stimulus check, the IRS says 8 million are being sent in the mail as prepaid debit cards. The IRS is warning people who have not received a direct deposit to watch their mail for either a paper check or a prepaid debit card. If you do not receive your economic impact payment, you may be able to claim a recovery rebate credit from the IRS when you file your taxes. We talked with a financial expert from Crown Haven in Carmel about his advice when it comes to spending your check once it comes.
You definitely want to replenish that emergency fund if your basic living expenses, necessities, groceries, utilities, rent, mortgage, things like that are being taken care of at this point. I would not go out on a spending spree. And if you are, in a good position, there's a lot of local businesses that could really use the help. I like to go out and spend money at, local businesses rather than, the chains, the national chains.
IRS Free File launched on Friday for those who earned $72,000 or less in 2020. The software allows taxpayers an early opportunity to claim credits like the Recovery Rebate Credit. Once filing season starts on February 12th, your taxes will then be submitted. If you are looking to track your payment, you can try to work at the Get My Payment tool. You can also sign up for USPS Informed Delivery to see each piece of mail being delivered. Now to your forecast tonight. Meteorologist Kyle Mounts joins me now. Kyle, it's been a snowy Saturday. What can we expect for the rest of the weekend?
Yeah, we're going to have a snowy Sunday as well, Nicole. So these rounds of snowy weather just keep coming our way. Right now, we're dry downtown. Looks like from the top of the Salesforce building there, we got a little bit of an icicle forming on the lens. We got 33 degrees, so that snow has been melting throughout the day. Not a whole lot of it out there on the ground. Feels like 24, though, with a west breeze at 13. So there goes the snow shower activity, but you already start to see there's a few snow showers developing back in portions of Illinois that will be sliding our way as we go into early tomorrow morning. Right now, we're at or above the freezing mark, so roads still in good shape, and we will start off around 30 degrees tomorrow morning, and the snow showers already back in the forecast.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And tonight, one person is dead after a crash on the city's west side. It happened this afternoon in the 600 block of West 29th Street near Dr. MLK Jr. Street. Tonight, we do not know the name of the person killed, but we did talk to a witness at the scene who says he desperately tried to help that person.
I'll go home. I'll probably have a good cry, de-stress a little bit, but it just makes you appreciate life a whole lot more. And, if people would just slow down and take it easy, things like this wouldn't happen.
No word yet tonight on what caused this fatal crash here, and officers are still investigating. A driver who had to be pulled from the water after their car drove into a Greenwood pond has died. That driver had been in the hospital tonight. We've just learned they died a short time ago. The car went into the pond near State Road 135 and Main Street just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Officials say the driver was in the water for about an hour before being rescued. There's no word on what may have caused that person to drive into the pond. The nation's capital transformed into a fortress of fences and barbed wire, all due to the threat of violence on Inauguration Day. Up next, the latest fallout from that violent protest in D.C. that now has the entire country on edge. And local creative arts organizations are working to get back on their feet after a devastating 2020. Still ahead tonight, we are shining a light on how one local dance troupe is trying to make a huge leap forward.
Only at Ashley Home Store.
We are now just 4 days away from the historic inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden, and security has never been tighter. Federal authorities are warning of a substantial threat after the siege at the Capitol as investigators make arrests and continue their search for rioters. More now tonight from ABC's Rena Roy.
The nation on high alert, the streets of D.C. deserted, instead flooded with law enforcement, barricades, and fences. By Wednesday, 25,000 National Guard members expected, 5 times the number of American troops in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Our mission here is to protect our people and our property, and so we're going to do everything to make sure that they're successful.
A Virginia man arrested at a D.C. checkpoint with an unauthorized inauguration credential. Police say he had a loaded handgun and 500 rounds of ammunition. He was charged with a single count of carrying a pistol without a license and was later released. The FBI concerned about possible improvised explosive devices and the ongoing threat to political leaders, saying the Capitol siege likely emboldened extremists. 4 bridges into the city will be closed. Much of the National Mall also shut down.
I don't know if anyone has raised their hand to say, we are coming, we will be there, but we are preparing as if they are.
At least 10 states activating their National Guard troops, some Capitol buildings now boarded up. Michigan legislators suspending session next week over credible threats. Tensions so high across the country, this reported bomb scare near an FBI building in Seattle drawing a heavy police presence Saturday night. New details continue to emerge from that violent insurrection. The Washington Post reporting 3 days before, an internal Capitol Police intelligence report warned that Congress could be the target of angry Trump supporters. Authorities now working to determine whether lawmakers assisted rioters by giving building tours the day before. Coast-to-coast manhunts underway for suspects. Far-right media personality Tim Giannett, who calls himself Baked Alaska, arrested in Texas Saturday, allegedly spotted on video inside the Capitol chanting, "Patriots are in control." The Department of Justice opening nearly 300 investigations related to the riots. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And this reminder tonight, the state government complex in downtown Indianapolis will close to the public Tuesday and Wednesday. This includes the State House. The state says the closure is due to threats to state capitals nationwide as the presidential inauguration approaches. But the state says there are no credible threats against Indiana's State House. More than 760,000 pounds of Hot Pockets have been recalled. There are concerns they could contain pieces of glass and hard plastic. Parent company Nestle said it received complaints about contaminated materials being inside the frozen sandwiches. The U.S. Department of Agriculture says products produced and shipped to stores nationwide in November are part of this recall. There has been one report of an oral injury after someone ate one of the hot pepperoni pockets. You can go to the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service website to find out more information. Kyle.
Since yesterday afternoon, we've picked up just over 2 inches of snow in Indianapolis, but you won't find that much snow on the ground out there because the temperatures are continuing to help out with some of that melting. We're at 33 still in Indianapolis and Kokomo, 36 for you right now in Shelbyville and Muncie. A little breezy out there as well. That west wind around 10 to 15 miles per hour. So that's going to keep us from dealing with any fog through the overnight, and temperatures that will settle back down to around 30 in Bloomington, 26 in Lafayette, 27 in the city. So watch out for a couple of isolated slick spots as you head out there early in the morning. And we're also going to have more snow showers already. Here's a look at TrueCast by 8:30 in the morning. Scattered snow showers as we go through the morning hours. Those will continue. Could have some bursts of some steadier snow out there as well. Otherwise, we're locked into the cloud cover, just isolated snow showers as we get into tomorrow evening. But all of it adding up to possibly another inch of snow out there. But again, with temperatures near that freezing mark, some of this is going to melt as it makes its way down to the ground. So we may not necessarily see an inch of snow on the ground throughout the day on Sunday. Here's where the temperatures will be. Not moving a whole lot here the first half of our Sunday. We'll be right around 31 or 32 degrees with those scattered snow showers. And as we go into the afternoon, there you can see we continue with that chance for some snow and temperatures that will make their way into the lower 30s. So we're really only moving a few degrees on the thermometer tomorrow and slightly below average for this time of year. 34 in Bloomington, 35 for your Sunday afternoon in Columbus, and about 32 Peru into the Muncie area. Temperatures are going to stay pretty uniform here for those highs as we go into the middle part of the week. We're just below the average there of 35. Then on Thursday, briefly, we will warm things up here, and that may come with some rain showers, but we've got another chance for some snow showers in this very active forecast. This is going Monday night into early Tuesday. Another Clipper type system coming through with the potential of some light snow accumulations there. So no big storm systems coming our way. We're just kind of nickel and diming our way to some snow totals here. But that should be out of the area very early on Tuesday, a high of 35 there. About the same on Wednesday, as we will see a little more sunshine coming our way. There's that 43-degree high on Thursday. Enjoy it because colder next weekend. Nicole will have temperatures in the teens Saturday morning.
Oh, looking forward to that. All right. Thank you, Kyle. Counting down to kickoff for college football's biggest game next year. Indy will be hosting yet another huge sports event in 2022. Next in sports, see how it's all coming together and how the playoff championship hopes to impact the city well past the trophy presentation.
America's #1 Tempur-Pedic retailer.
Earlier this week, we saw the end of another college football season with Alabama winning the playoff championship over Ohio State. 1 year from now, Indianapolis will host that event. It's a game nearly 4 years in the making, and the hard work is just beginning. Brad Brown has a closer look in tonight's Sports Extra Spotlight.
Less than 12 hours had passed since they fired off the confetti cannons in Miami, and already the college football playoff started looking ahead with all eyes focused firmly on Indianapolis.
Now that the clock has turned over and it's Indiana's time to host, the CFP will really be focused on the stadium, the infrastructure, transportation, parking, all the nuts and bolts areas. So what we really hope to add to the table is a unique element for the fans here to celebrate.
CFP organizers and the Indy Host Committee held a virtual handoff on Tuesday. Even from 1,000 miles away, the excitement of next year's title game is already brewing.
Their experience, not only with the 500 Festival, but also with all the NCAA events, will serve them well. This is yet another college event, another feather in the cap of Indianapolis to win the bid and then to show the rest of the world how they do events so well.
The game is expected to be the biggest football event here since the Super Bowl. What could be a $150 million economic impact, the potential for 100,000 visitors, and a 4-day football celebration spread across many parts of downtown.
Well, it's a bright spot. It gives us optimism, and it gives confidence to other event organizers and conventions who are scratching their heads saying, how is Indianapolis able to pull off March Madness in its entirety? How is Indianapolis still actively planning for the college football playoff now in a year? And so we've seen that. We've heard many other cities, many other event organizers, sports and otherwise, saying, what's going on in Indy?
Beyond football, the CFP Foundation and dozens of local corporate partners are helping to give back to the community. More than $1 million is already committed to several local education legacy programs, and 4 area schools will be getting media center makeovers.
When we launched this effort in 2017, one of the reasons you launched that early is to allow your donors to spread the funding over time.
But soon it should be time to kick off another championship night in Indy, a city that does that better than any other.
All of our leaders had spent plenty of time in Indianapolis at events, but more so they love the community spirit, and they know what a great job Indianapolis does in hosting events. And that may sound trite, but it isn't. Not everybody can pull off events the way that Indianapolis can.
363 days might seem like a lot of time, but there are literally thousands of details that still have to come together between now and then. With the committee, the volunteers, and the corporate donors all coming together and hope that Indy can put on another spectacular event here in 2022. At Lucas Oil Stadium, Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
That's for just $209 a month.
The pandemic forced many creative arts organizations to cancel nearly all of their performances in 2020, and they are finding ways to change that here in 2021. Tonight, Dance Kaleidoscope is in the WRTV spotlight. The longtime Indianapolis dance company performs on the virtual stage this month. We visited the company's studio on the Near East Side back in November as they rehearsed for their show, A New Dawn. Artistic associate Stuart Coleman choreographed the performance. He had to scrap his original vision due to COVID safety precautions, but he welcomed the challenge.
So it's sort of a silver lining, like trying to make a lemonade out of lemon situation, because obviously, I would love to have, dancers being lifted and do all these great partnering things. But when we're in these circumstances, I just say, okay, these are the rules. This is what we this is what we have to do. And then you go from there.
A New Dawn is streaming now through January 24th. For more information, go to WRTV.com and click on this story. Everyone is just finding a way to make it work, Kyle.
Yeah, and tomorrow will be a good day to maybe stay indoors and make that work for you, because we are going to have more scattered snow showers, temperatures in the lower 30s.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you for joining us. Have a great night.